Can you kind of go through how quickly this came into place after the Caps got the Kuznetsov deal done, or was this something in the works even prior to that?
No, I think this is, I guess, something that we've been alluding to most of the year in terms of whether it's expansion opportunities or cap opportunities, whatever the case may be. And Marcus was the guy, and certainly knowing other teams' cap situations, and with Washington, they were, they loaded up and made a hell of a run this year, but at some point, especially with signing Oshie and Orlov and now Kuznetsov, there's one of the teams we have watched quite a bit, including Marcus, and something had to give at some point, and which usually does. And this really was more of a yesterday thing, talking to Brian McClellan, and they were getting closer on Kuznetsov, it seemed, and certainly, they have to get a player like Kuznetsov under contract. Something's going to have to give, and we're a team in the position, as he knows, with other picks that he wanted and didn't have this past year to move the money, because he has to obviously be compliant when the season starts. But, that's the situation that we've been looking for during the year, and we alluded to a lot. And it just didn't happen at expansion. It happened after the draft. But as I said maybe a few days ago, we were well positioned no matter what, that something come our way. If it didn't happen at the draft or at expansion, that nothing really changed. We're still in good position, except it was a week later, and this came about. And it's kind of what I alluded to a little bit on that call we had today, or Andrew, was that, in terms of, adding a guy like Marcus up front to us, is, if, I'd love to get a defenseman somewhere, but, so does everybody. And, I want to strengthen another part of our team if possible, and adding Marcus on the left side with Taylor, we have a lot of different options, certainly skill, speed, and we're really getting to what we had talked about since I was hired in terms of the type of team and go from there. So I think it's a good day for us, and it's a trade that obviously helps both teams, and Washington with their cap and being able to sign a great player like Kuznetsov, and certainly a team like ours that's taking advantage of that and adding a real good young player and up-and-coming player in Marcus.
Do you see Marcus more on the left side, or do you see him possibly playing in the middle for you?
He can do both, but I think he's, he's one of those guys like I talked about, that whether it's Zach or Henrique, and guys like this that can, or Boyle, they can play left wing or center, and we have lots of options there. But this year, he's been really on the wing and playing with Kuznetsov and Justin Williams, obviously a great line there in Washington, and but he can move around, good power play guy, and he'll have, he had a big role there in Washington for the last couple of years, and really came in his own, I think, the last couple of years this year, and really a really good player. And I think it's a good thing. He's got a couple years left of his contract, and I believe he's unrestricted, but so is Adam Henrique, and I like that. It's not a big deal. It's guys that are hungry, and the team we want to have. There's nothing wrong with that. And again, it's not just a 1-year thing; it's a 2-year thing, and we'll sort it out from there. And hopefully, we'll do this for a long time. But in terms of improving our team today, I think it's a real good move for us.
Well, how fortunate do you consider yourself to be in a position to take advantage of the Capitals' cap issues to be able to get a player like Marcus Johansson like that?
I mean, again, it's good for us. I mean, I've been on the other end. I mean, Washington's got a real good team. I want to get there, and but this is where we are. This is what we've talked about. This is from day one, and some people might get sick of hearing me say it for 2 years, but this is the way it's got to go. And even the Shattenkirk thing I talked about today, I'm not into the 7-year deal, 6-year deals. And I talked about Kevin, how much respect I have for how he went about the process. Is really, he never asked. He wouldn't have come here for a 7-year deal. I never would have done that anyway. It's not in terms of how I want to build a team, and I don't think that's the way to do it. And I give him a lot of credit that, that shorter-term deal in New York was really at the end where he wanted to be, and I was happy to be involved at the end. But also, we were trying to get better, and I was happy to be involved in that. But that doesn't happen, and this does. So things happen for a reason, and again, we're a better team for it today, and we'll see what happens the rest of the way here.
How satisfied are you with the way the roster looks today, and can we anticipate anything more happening?
Maybe. I mean, we have lots of cap space. I have my own picks, and so there's still lot of stuff we can do. And some other teams, whether they're in cap problems or they got Group 2s or they have to make decisions, I think we're still in a good spot. I think, realistically, just in the last week or whatever it is, I mean, adding Boyle, Marcus Johansson, and Nico Hischier, I think it's an exciting time for the Devils. I think our fans, I think that's what we've talked about, getting younger, faster. We've got a guy like Brian Boyle, but, one reason I talked about today that we really wanted to add him and target him, and fortunately it's a good thing for us. And but I think, we really were open to anything, and we really we talked about our young players and some opportunity and stuff, but we'll see where it goes. And, we have more assets now by, the draft picks, as I say, in cap space are huge assets, and we utilized a little bit of both today, but we're still in a good position, and certainly we'd like to get better before the season starts.